Hey, welcome back. In this mini lecture, I'm going to be making this examination of Sherry Turkle's Alone Together. I'm splitting it into another part so that you're not overwhelmed with too many quotes, too much analysis, so you can kind of break it up. Quote, I once described the computer as a second self, a mirror of mind. Now the metaphor no longer goes far enough. Our new devices provide space for the emergence of a new state of the self, itself split between the screen and the physical real, wired into existence through technology. Could you describe what you think is a new state of the self? I'll give you a moment. I would argue that it means that we're not fully engaged in offline reality. So, when we have computers around with us all the time, we have devices around with us all the time, during those times when we are just intending to purely engage with someone, if we see our device, if we have it in our hands, we touch it, it gives us sort of an out to have the intimacy that we were supposed to be intending to have with this human relationship. It can diminish a little bit. And as a result, even though we're specifically in the presence of someone else and should be enjoying this offline regular life, we oftentimes have in the back of our mind that our devices are around and that we have at any moment the possibility of being diverted from this face-to-face conversation to something else. Quote, technology reshapes the landscape of our emotional lives, but is it offering us the lives we want to lead? Many roboticists are enthusiastic about having robots tend to our children and our aging parents, for instance. Are these psychologically, socially, and ethically acceptable propositions? What are our responsibilities here? So basically, I'm going to forward to you the last part of this quote, the last two questions. Are these psychologically, socially, and ethically acceptable propositions? What are our responsibilities here? I would say, nope. We do need to be more responsible. More specifically, when we entrust our beloved children, our beloved parents, to a robot or some other type of technology, it's not psychologically sound for us or them. It's not socially sound for us or them. And it's certainly, especially if it goes poorly, it can be ethically suspicious. And then ultimately, if you think about it, if human relationships and human interaction are important, and I would argue obviously that they are, when we, instead of doing that and going through the struggle that these things sometimes are, if we, instead of interacting with our children or parents, and we leave it to a robot or another device, it's not good for us or them. And that we do have a responsibility as human beings to talk and interact with one another. Quote, and are we comfortable with virtual environments that propose themselves not as places for recreation, but as new worlds to live in? What do we have now that we have what we say what we want? Now that we have what technology makes easy? This is the time to begin these conversations together. It is too late to leave the future to the futurists. The question from this is, do we want our youth constantly inhabiting totally immersive virtual environments? I think you can probably figure out what my opinion is for this. It's nope. And I wonder, what are the costs? Like, again, it's like almost like the idea of having some spice in your food or that. It's like, it's okay if these devices, these virtual environments, these online worlds, if it's a spice where you just add it to your regular life and it's just like a little sprinkling here and there, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And even if you do it a little bit every day. But it's when they're constantly there, when they're completely immersed, instead of being immersed in the real world, their friends, their family, their loved ones, there's just some cost to that. So, again, it's useful, it's good, it's great to be able to enjoy the luxuries that these devices afford us, these wonderful places that we can visit, but if we stay there too much, it can't be good for us. Quote, our new encounters with sociable robots, simple robot toys in children's playrooms, provoke responses that are not about these machines' capabilities, but our vulnerabilities. When we're asked to care for an object when an object thrives under our care, we experience that object as intelligent. But more importantly, we feel ourselves to be in a relationship with it. So my question is, what are the implications of relationships with devices? I would argue that when we have these intense relationships with our devices, we have a tendency to ignore real relationships. and we can impute complex human relationships into machines. So when we add new and amazing apps to our phones, when we have amazing pieces of software, when we do really fantastic things with machines because of the amazing affordances they have, it prevents us from doing other things with our lives and interacting with one another in more humane social environments. That was part 3 of Sherry Turkle's Alone Together. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Take care.